moment that you've all been waiting for. From just north of the border, he's the hombre with no nombre. Mi hermano from another mamo. He's the world's greatest Rudo. El Numero Uno.
That's right. You're listening to one of the three Hogsmen. Devin's not here. Big Duke said maybe next week. But today is May 19th. It's a Wednesday. Yeah, that's right. We're a day late, but not $1 short, Adam.
That's true. It's May 19th, also the day that Kane murdered his parents.
Oh, for reals?
It was a whole storyline where Kane was spooked by the date of May 19th.
How do you remember that? When was that storyline?
2005, 2006.
Who was that storyline with? That wasn't Taker, right?
No, I forget, because they brought in the fake Kane, which was Doc Gallows.
Oh, for reals?
And then they had a match that was just terrible. They both admit it was bad.
All right, well.
So, yeah, there was a weird storyline. I think it was based around the movie See No Evil that was coming out.
Oh,
they were trying
that's
to,
right.
double up on scary stuff with Kane, so.
Adam bringing you a little bit of wrestling trivia.
Well, Mike just brought news to my mind I didn't even know about
That's
before
right.
we started, and now I'm looking right now, and it's like, wow.
That's big news today, and we will get into that.
All right, yeah.
Pretty big news.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, we are recording a day late, which means this podcast is coming out a day late. The reason being, COVID, man. Yesterday I had to go get a COVID test for my wrestling adventure this weekend out in Las Vegas. I have to provide a negative test to wrestle on that show. And also, I had my second vaccination shot scheduled for yesterday. So I told Adam, hey, I'm not sure exactly when I'll be done with this stuff. We kind of shot towards the time. And then Adam said, hey, his girlfriend had just received her second shot. And she wasn't feeling too great. So you wanted to be the good boyfriend. I remember when I used to have to do that. And then you get married and you go, hey, listen, tough it out, okay? I got to go. So we just like, hey, let's just push it back to tomorrow. No big D. And here we are, the Hogsman Podcast. Adam, what's new, man?
Nothing much, man. Just excited to get back to some normal stuff in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Back to normal life.
Yes, I hope so too. It looks like it's happening. So I was down in Mexico this past weekend. I was in the Rosarito area.
Okay.
So buenos dias. And had a great time, man. That was the first time I've been to Rosarito, I think almost in like 20 years. Because after I turned 18, used to go there all the time with my friends. Around 18 and 19, I was there a lot. Like a lot of spring breaks down there and all that kind of stuff. And it used to be kind of like a quiet beach town.
Yeah.
Down there. And then like hordes of spring breakers would flock down there and party. And man, it's changed.
Yeah.
It's a lot more developed down there. There's just a lot. It's just more lively, I guess you could say. It's crazy. I can't say I think it's better because, the traditionalist in me, the old school guy is like, hey man, it was better back in the day.
Yeah.
You should have seen it back when I was younger. That's who I am, right? I'll always be that person. But it was a good time, man. We drove down there Friday night. It only takes about an hour to get down there.
Okay, that's not bad.
Real nice. We drove down there with my wife and I drove down there with another couple, and got down there around I think like 9:00. Went out to the clubs. Actually, first got tacos first. Listen, I'm an experienced vacationer in Mexico. Mm-hmm. I'm basically Mexican.
El Numero Uno.
I've been down there so many times. I consider myself as one of them.
Okay.
My Spanish is just not up to par. And man, they have just the best tacos down there, man. Down in Mexico in general. And let me tell you this, people. If you see a place and it looks really, really nice and it's fancy, it ain't gonna have good tacos. All right.
That's the taco shop rule too.
Exactly.
The dirtier the look in the taco shop, the better the food's gonna be.
Exactly. When you look at a place, if you're down there looking for tacos, what you want to look for is the place where you go, hey, man, I might get food poisoning from there. Yeah, you might get food poisoning, but you guaranteed are going to get incredible tacos.
Yeah.
So we went to that place. I can't remember what the name of the place was, but man, they were so good. That was the best food I had all weekend down there. 3 tacos from this place, a hole in the wall. The cashier doesn't even have like a POS system. That's a point of sales for anybody that hasn't worked in the restaurant industry. He's got a calculator and a money box. Love it. But yeah, man, it was cool. Then we went to Papa's and Beer after that, and that place has really changed. Also, they've really like spruced it up. And yeah, man, it was just fun. It was a good time Friday night, and then Saturday we went wine tasting. So I jumped on a bus, or a shuttle, I guess you could say, with a bunch of kids around like 27, 28. Fun fact, everyone was vaccinated.
That's cool.
I was the only person that was half vaxxed. These are some responsible kids. And yeah, so we went, I can't remember what it's called. You know, it's the winery area.
Yeah.
You know, it's about an hour drive. And it's really nice, man. I've never really been inland in Mexico. I've always been on a coast.
Yeah.
So, you know, you drive down Rosarito and then you kick it inland. And the wineries are real nice, man. They're real nice. It kind of reminds me a lot of Ramona, like the landscape and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So we went to 4 wineries. The first one was really cool. It was a smaller winery, but it was like kind of like the most official wine tasting. They actually brought us down in the wine cellar and you know, presented like 5 wines. You know, and they just give you a little like a little dash of wine in the glass, and you smell it and you do all that stuff. It was cool. I'm not a wine guy, but it was kind of cool. Like they're telling you about like, you know, how to, you know, about the flavors and the smells and all that kind of stuff. Whatever, dude. And then we went to another winery that was incredible. It was out like the just beautiful scenery and all that kind of stuff. And then we went to another one, which was like a little bit more like hipster. Mm-hmm. It's kind of being like a nightclub, like, you know, like the loud music, the boof, boof,
oh yeah,
boof,
yeah,
boof, boof. And that was kind of whack. But whatever. You know, that was the most busy one though.
Yeah.
Like people were like trying to get in there like it was a goddamn nightclub. And then the final one, this place was called Quattros. And it's up on top of a mountain overlooking the ocean. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing view. The bathrooms, all the stalls look out over the ocean. There's like, they have like, it's open, you know, it's not like, it's not enclosed, it's open. It's really cool, man.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
So if you go to Quattros, you got to use the bathroom. You got to check it out. But that place was very nice. The food wasn't so great, but God, that was a long day too, man. We had to get to this. We had to meet everybody up at this house that they were staying at by 11 o'clock, and then we didn't get back to that house until like 10 o'clock at night. It was long, dude.
Yeah.
It was long. And it starts to get to that point. So I'm very much a person, like, I hate not being able just to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm done, I'm done.
Like, you feel like, well, you don't feel like you're basically stuck there until
exactly
the time is up and everyone else leaves, where you might normally leave a lot earlier than most people.
Back in the day, man, I was a big Irish exit guy. You know what that is?
Yes.
I say, hey, guys, I'm going to the bathroom. And you go to the bathroom and then you dip out the front door. Why do you do that? Because you don't want to say the goodbyes. You know what happens when you say goodbyes?
You get stuck there longer?
Yeah, why?
Because everyone's like, no, man, have a shot with me.
Man, hang out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Come on, man, have a shot with me. You know who fucking does that? Hunter. Hunter fucking does that. Okay? Hunter's like the goddamn Energizer Bunny of drinking. I don't know what the fuck's up with this guy. Yeah. Well, I know what's up. 1, he's a hick from Georgia. Okay? 2, he's got that military experience of like staying up and out late.
Yeah.
You know, obviously when you're in a war zone, you can't just nod off. And yeah, I'm just like.
And then there's the wrestler part of you that feels like you have to say goodbye to every single person before you leave a locker room. The handshake and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. No way, man. But so I'm like a big Irish exit guy. Like, hey, man, I'm out. Yeah. You know, but in that kind of a situation, I couldn't. You know, I'm in another country. I'm riding on a shuttle we're hours away from where we're staying. And it just gets to the point where it's like, you just want to go home, man.
Yeah.
I'm tired. You know, we've been up since like 9 o'clock and now it's 10 o'clock and we still haven't gotten home. We have to jump in a cab to go home. It just gets to the point where you're just like, I'm just done.
Yeah.
I'm done, man. I'm done. Yeah. Anyways, but it was fun, man. It was really nice being back down in Rosarito. Seemed fine down there. You know, the mask mandate doesn't really exist down there. I wore a mask when I thought it was appropriate, and I didn't wear the mask when I didn't think I needed to.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, that's how it should be. Like, even when all this mandates get lifted, like, if you feel like you need to, wear one.
Make good decisions.
I'm not going to judge you if you're wearing one and I'm not, and you shouldn't judge me if I'm not wearing one and you are.
Now, you know what's weird? So my neighbor, she's real by the book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like whenever like, so all my neighbors are real friendly with each other, and we all meet up like in this little dog park area that's right outside of our spot, and we all, you know, talk and hang out and this one neighbor is real by the book, man. If you ever say something that goes against like the CDC guidelines or anything like that, she's like, well, you know, this is why, this is why. And it's like, hey, listen, you're allowed to not like certain things.
Yeah.
You know, like I understand like the way things are doesn't mean you have to accept it. You can have griefs and gripes about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's so by the book. And we were talking about, I was like, oh yeah, yesterday we were talking, I'm like, I got my vaccination, my second vaccination, and it takes like what, 2 weeks for that shit to kick in,
2
really?
weeks, yeah.
Whatever. It's in me, okay? And you know, we're talking about like Newsom. This whole time he's been like Mr. Scientist, right? He's like, oh well, the science is saying this, the science is saying this. And then the CDC comes out and says like, oh hey, by the way, like you can take your mask off if you're vaccinated, right? If you're fully vaxxed. And then Newsom's like, nah, we're going to go against the CDC guidelines, and the mask mandate's going to stay till June 15th, right? Kind of weird, right? When you've been like, hey, we're gonna listen to the science, and then when the scientists are saying, hey, it's okay to take the mask off, he's like, nah, hold on, Mr. Scientist, what do you fucking know?
Yeah.
But I was talking about that, right? And my neighbor, who's all by the book, she's like, well, you know, you can still get it even if you have that. And I understand. I get that shit. Maybe 1 or 2 people have fucking got it. You look at the fucking masses, the majority, right?
I mean, that's pretty much what you have to do.
That's what you have
just
to
look
do. At
like,
yeah,
some people have breakouts, you know.
Exactly. But anyways, and then they're talking about like, you're going to have people like that aren't vaxxed acting like they are vaxxed, you know, like just lying about it, just to like not wear a mask or something like that. And hey, man, what are you going to do? So my neighbor's like, well, how can you trust people that they've been vaccinated? You know, how can you just got to take, you just got to take their word for it, right? We do it all the time.
If you're vaccinated, you don't need to worry about other people.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Like, you can still get it, but if you're vaccinated, you're less likely to suffer the serious symptoms of what people were getting back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, the people who are anti-vaccine, they're never going to get it. So why would we wait for them? We're not going to wait for the people. Like, yeah, I get it, June 15th. So it gives people a couple more weeks to get their shots, get their final shots done. And then by then, okay, if you're not going to get the shot, you're not going to get the shot, period, anyway. So I'm not worried about you anymore.
Yeah. And also, I mean, all the old people, they should have it already.
They should,
right?
Yeah.
Or if they denied it, hey, that's on you, dog. That's on you. I'm guessing a good majority of people have gotten it, right? So if not fully vaxxed, at least their first shot and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know, she's bringing this up. She's like, well, how can you trust that people got vaccinated? And I'm like, we take people's word for it all the time, every day. And she didn't really understand how that could be. And I was like, well, you drive, Adam, right? You drove over here to my house today.
Yep.
Did you check everybody's fucking driver's license on that road on the way here?
I did not.
Do you say, hey guys, everybody, bring them out? Driver's license. I want to see them before I get on this road. You take their word for it, basically. Like, hey, they have a license. They know how to drive.
I'm not asking all of them, hey, do you have a couple of drinks tonight?
I brought that up too. When you get out on that road, do you believe that everybody is 100% sober? I'm just taking their word for it. They're driving. They must be saying like, hey, they are not intoxicated, right? All right. It's exact. I tell this to wrestlers all the time. I tell this to young wrestlers all the time. if say I'm wrestling maybe somebody on the East Coast that's from the East Coast or something like that, I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And everything they're telling me prior to the match that they want to do, I have to say, I have to just take them for their word. Like they know what they're doing. You know, it's not like, I can't just be like, nah, man, I don't really trust you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can say so many words, you can politic your way out of certain things, but, like you have to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Like plenty of people have asked me, hey, can you do this? Like some kind of move or something like that. And if I can, I say yes. If I say no, or if I don't have any experience doing that move, I'll say, listen, I've never done that before. I've never even practiced it. So it's probably not a good idea to break it out in a match.
Yeah.
Right. You got to take somebody's word for it. Right. And you should, I tell all the young wrestlers, don't lie. Don't lie just to make sure, just to make it seem like you're better than you are.
Yeah.
Right? Be honest. Be truthful. If somebody asks you to do something in the ring that you don't feel comfortable with, say you don't feel comfortable because you've never done it before.
Yeah.
You know? But anyways, we do that all the time in life. You know, you just take people's word for it. Yeah. You're a chiropractor? All right, cool. I see all them certificates on the wall. But how do I know those weren't just printed out on a goddamn computer?
You have no idea.
You know? So it's just stuff like that. Like, hey, I understand, people are probably going to act like they're vaccinated when they're not.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? Shake them down for ID and a vaccination card?
Well, that's the thing. I think after June 15th, you don't need to prove it, but like things are open up. Like, so if you don't feel comfortable going to a place that there might be people who haven't gotten vaccinated, don't go.
Yeah.
You can order online now. Like if you don't want to go into Walmart, you can order a day ahead on Walmart.com and you just drive up and they'll put it right in your trunk. You won't have to touch anybody. You can do that anywhere now. Like, so if you don't feel comfortable going to a place, don't go.
Yeah.
But like these places, these businesses need to open back up like fully.
We as a society, a country, we got to open up.
Yeah. It's been almost a year and a half now. Like we can't keep doing this financially for the country. Like,
nope. You know what's interesting too? I just saw that. So Texas yesterday, they reported 0 deaths, the lowest like hospitalizations, the lowest across the board for a lot of things since like March 2020.
Yeah.
And the most interesting thing is, they had the opening day for the Rangers, packed house,
full stadium. Yep.
They just had the Canelo fight there. I think it was in Dallas. 72,000 packed house. And they're showing these results, like these numbers that say, hey, 0 death cases today, lowest numbers of hospitalizations, lowest numbers of these. That's a good thing. Yeah. And you remember when people were like prior to this, when they said, hey, when the Rangers organization was like, hey, we're gonna open this bitch up, we're gonna pack this house, people were like, oh, that's irresponsible, blah blah blah. You're gonna see a spike and all. Hey, you were wrong.
Yeah.
And that, but
you don't hear those people.
But that's a good thing that you were wrong.
Yeah. It is.
Hey, I want to see improvement in this country.
Yeah. Of
this COVID-19 crap going out the window. I want it gone. For anybody out there that still wants this pandemic to stick around, and there is people like that.
Absolutely.
You know why? They love the fact that, hey man, I got an excuse why I can't do something. Like my responsibilities, I got an excuse now. It's like me when I was younger trying to not do my chores. Hey, I got to go do this.
It's like, so like people are eligible to get vaccinated. The numbers are going down. And then every time someone, like when AEW is running a full event they're running a full pay-per-view at the end of May. People are always going to have like, oh, that's irresponsible, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, so at what point are you saying it's okay to have these things come back?
Yeah.
Like if you're saying 100% it's gone, that's never going to happen. COVID's going to be around now.
Yeah.
If you get it, some people will get it, some people won't. But it won't be in the numbers as high as they were a year ago today. Like it's going to improve. But we can't just keep going, well, let's just wait it out. Because we've been saying that every 6 months for the last year and a half.
We got to test. We got to test, see where we're at in with this, But it's not a bad thing when when people are proven wrong. Yeah. That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's open this place up. Let's get back to normal life as much as we can and see what happens. So it looks like things are working out. It looks like this vaccination is working. Listen, if it's fucking herd immunity, if it's because so many people in Texas already had it, and they got through it, they recovered from it, and now they have the antibodies in them. Hey, listen, same result, different path.
Yeah.
So,
like we had out here, we had a bunch of the Padres guys. Fernando Tatis tested positive, asymptomatic. I don't think he got the vaccine yet, and then the Yankees had like 8 coaches get it. The only one who had symptoms was Phil Nevin, who is the third base coach for the Yankees, but everybody else didn't feel any symptoms. So, and they were the whole team was vaccinated.
Oh yeah,
they got the Johnson & Johnson shot. They all got it at the same time. So they were at the point where they were just not wearing masks on the field anymore. They didn't have to wear them in the dugout. They didn't have to wear them on the field. Like they could do whatever they want. So, but none of them had symptoms. None of them got sick. So it's like, if you're going to test positive for this thing, but you're not going to get sick, at what point can we just go, okay, they can still play when they have it if they're not showing symptoms? Like that's the way it should be. I
get
think.
I get what you're saying. By the way, how badass are the Padres?
They won all those games without like their whole team.
Dude, that team is so deep in talent that their top 4 players can be out with COVID, and we're still winning games.
Yeah,
I love it. It's a great team, man.
It's great.
Great team. Really enjoy it.
I'm trying to go to a game in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if I can.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, too. I was like, hey, maybe it's time to go to a game now. Because I told you about the a few months, or was it like a month ago, I went to a game and it sucked. But I think it might be a different game or a different situation now.
And the thing, they have these seats now which are specifically for like vaccinated people, where you can go and sit and not have to wear a mask or do any of that stuff. So
listen, whenever I'm watching a game and I see people behind home plate without masks on, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it because it means that we are getting back to normal.
Exactly.
It's not a bad thing, people. It's not a bad thing.
I like watching games and not hearing the video game sound effects as a crowd.
Yeah.
It's a lot better to actually hear people. Even if it's only 7,000 people, 7,000 people is better than one.
I'll tell you one thing. I am kind of missing Korean baseball. Did you watch Korean baseball last year at all?
No.
It's awesome.
Where they had the teddy bears is this behind the seats.
Yeah, such random like things in the stands. It's great, man. The Koreans know how to do it. Yeah, man. So good stuff, man. I like the trajectory we're on, and hopefully it stays that way.
Yes, I agree.
See what happens. We'll see what happens. But we should probably talk about wrestling. See what's going on. Big news last week. New Jack passed away. I was never a big fan of New Jack in ring, but his promo skills were incredible.
Yeah.
He made you really believe that he was trying to hurt somebody. Kind of probably was
Sometimes he was.
Probably was. But his promo skills, me being in the business, knowing what a promo is and what it's supposed to do. Yep. Even when I go back and watch those old Smoky Mountain wrestling promos by New Jack, you believe that shit. You believe it, man. It was fantastic.
His O.J. Simpson promo is just fantastic.
One thing with that specific promo is you have to give a reason why you're mad, right? Yeah. Like as a heel, why are you angry? Why do you not like these people? All that kind of stuff. And in that promo, he does such a great job. It's such a small little thing, but it really describes to you why he's angry. And I don't know if you remember the promo too much, like as far as like, word for word and all this stuff. But he talks about, he goes, he rolled up into the town that he was in, and he steps out of his car and he slipped in tobacco spit. That little reason is enough for me to hate every single one of you in the audience. Because guess what? There's a good chance a lot of you chew tobacco spit.
Yeah.
And it's probably your fucking fault that I fell. I love it, man. Just that little reason of why I fucking hate you.
Yep.
It's great, man. And then he tells everybody that O.J. Simpson
is innocent.
It's just amazing. Good. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Amazing. That must have been what, 1992, that promo? Right? That's when the O.J. case was going on?
I thought the case was like 94, 95.
Okay,
but I could be wrong. I don't know.
But man,
I was very young.
What an incredible thing to say. That must have been, obviously Tennessee or something, right?
Probably, yeah. And just like, I do remember very vividly how much that case in general just kind of split the country.
Oh, big time.
Like, big time. Like, it's less now because I think everyone is kind of like, yeah, he did it. Like, yeah,
Everybody knows he did it.
But back then it was kind of like, it was a race thing. It was like, oh, he didn't do it. The cops called him this word and blah, 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 blah. Like,
Johnny Cochran, man. He made the big bucks for a reason.
Yeah. The defense attorney is a really shitty job to have because you're just constantly defending people that you're like, well, I know you're guilty, but I got to try to find a way to prove that you're not, even though there's overwhelming evidence you did.
Yeah. But anyways, that sucks. New Jack died. Like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of his in-ring work.
Yeah.
But as far as the promo skills, I thought they were incredible. I got to meet him once out at WrestleCade in North Carolina back in 2018. I saw him backstage of one of the super shows, and he was just sitting there by himself. And I just walked up and I just said, "Hey, man, I want to say hello." Just said hi. That's it.
Yeah.
And he said hi back, and I can't remember if there was any real I don't remember them being any little conversation, but this was more like, hey, I just want to say hi, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I remember behind the entrance, him sitting on those big rolling black boxes that they use to move equipment and all that kind of stuff. He's sitting there just on one of them. He's got a trash can next to him, and there's a match going on. I believe it was C.W. Anderson, Jerry Lynn, and John Steicher. And I believe Jerry Lynn was reffing.
Okay.
I think Jerry Lynn was reffing. And New Jack was just sitting behind the entrance, just sitting there, kind of looking down. Maybe he was I don't know if he was, but it looked like he was kind of hung over or maybe not feeling too well. Mm-hmm. That's the posture he was sitting in.
Yeah.
And, I'm just kind of sitting there watching them. And then all of a sudden, Natural Born Killers hits, right? And he kind of just stands up, hands on his thighs, stands up and just kind of looks up. And all of a sudden just jumps right into character. And I was like, man, that's fucking cool. That's really fucking cool to see this.
Yeah.
This kind of behind the scenes kind of stuff. And then he went out there and obviously with the trash can and the shopping cart and started chucking shit in the ring and beating up people with vacuums and shit like that. But the crowd went fucking nuts for it. And man, I mean that feels condolences to him and his family.
Yeah.
And man, the guy made an impact. The guy made an impact.
It was very eerie because on that note, the Dark Side of the Ring with Nick Gage was on the day before, and there's so many similarities between the two of those guys.
Yeah,
obviously Nick Gage went to prison for a long time for robbing a bank, which is a hilarious story in its own right. But they have so many similarities of the kind of style of matches they work and just kind of their personalities. So it was just kind of really weird and eerie that the day after that aired, New Jack died.
Yeah, that's I didn't put that together. That's true. I watched that Nick Gage Dark Side of the Ring.
It was very interesting.
I thought it was very interesting.
Not sure I'd want to work a death match with him because it just seems he kind of just does what he wants.
I don't know, man. I've never been in the ring with him, so
yeah.
I mean, first of all, I don't really want to do a death match, anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know about that, but I thought it was very interesting. I didn't know he had a brother. That was in wrestling.
Yeah.
And the thing that kind of that I thought was kind of interesting about that was his brother looked a lot more traditional.
Yeah.
He had traditional wrestling gear, all that kind of stuff. He was pretty. It looked like he was pretty good shape. I'm sure Benny must have known him. I'd like to talk to Benny and be like, hey, did you know his brother? Because that's the thing. That's the craziest thing to me is Nick Gage obviously doesn't come out in traditional in-ring attire.
Yeah.
He comes in with wearing a shirt, shorts, just kind of normal shoes, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And his brother had like trunks, boots, knee pads, like very traditional wrestling gear. And I thought that was just very interesting.
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting.
I'm sure Benny was around both of them.
Yeah. Well, I know Benny's friends with Gage.
Okay.
And then it's kind of weird how, Gage obviously wasn't in a good place for a long time. It looked like, it sounds like drugs was a problem. It sounded like the brother kind of kept it stayed on the straight and narrow, and then yet he ended up.
But he had bigger demons that he just hid well.
Yeah, he ended up taking his own life, and then Gage ended up working his way out of the addiction and going to prison and all that kind of stuff. It's also kind of weird, like when I heard he went to prison for robbing a bank. Just hearing that, you go, "Oh, this guy's obviously a criminal." That's what criminals do, is they rob banks. But hearing him saying, like, "Listen, man, he was just down and out and had nothing and needed money."
Yeah.
And he thought, like, all right, man, and this is like the one way I can get some cash. Like it's the he was just, what can I say? It's desperation.
Yeah.
Desperation,
Yeah.
really?
When you're like, well, if it goes poorly, then like it wasn't going to get any better anyway. So
Yeah.
But can you imagine having to like go outside every day and like see the bridge that your brother jumped off of? Like that's
gnarly,
heavy
man.
shit. And that was the one thing about this whole Dark Side of the Ring that I thought was interesting. Most of them usually have bad endings, but up until now, this one has a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's in a good place. He's more successful now than he's ever been. Like, so that's usually like the Pillman one obviously had a really shitty ending.
Yeah.
Most of these are gonna have shitty end. Like the one this week, I don't think will have a shitty ending because it's just a funny story.
Which one's? Oh, is
it's
the North Korea
the
one?
collision in North Korea
Okay.
show. It's such a weird fucking story. I'm really excited for that one. But yeah, his ones I was like, well, this one had a happy ending. Like he has a heat with David Arquette apparently.
That was interesting because I mean, I don't know what they're doing putting Arquette in there.
I don't either.
In that type of match, because I'm guessing I've never done a death match, but the thing is, don't make sudden erratic movement.
Yeah.
And that's like what happened. That's how Arquette got his neck, his neck sliced. But also it's like, man, hey, Arquette's an actor, and I do respect the fact that Arquette came back and trained, and tried to be a legitimate wrestler, and I consider him a wrestler. But if you don't want your face getting sliced up or cut and all that it's like, then maybe you shouldn't do this deathmatch stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Like, because if it's going to affect your main gig, which is acting, I think that's probably what he makes a lot of his money on. Yeah, you shouldn't get in there and do a deathmatch because you're going to get cut.
Yeah.
You're going to get sliced up. Like, it's what a death match is. If you ain't bleeding, it ain't a death match.
My thought was he probably thought it was just like a really big hardcore match.
Yeah.
And didn't really realize that it was like, no, like really gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah. I don't know. But actually, but the whole that episode I thought was very interesting. It gave me a whole new perspective on Nick Gage.
It's kind of cool that you kind of get like this sort of mainstream like documentaries on guys that aren't like they're Brian Pillman's a bigger name.
Oh yeah.
But like most people don't know the story of Nick Gage, and it's a really interesting story.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any other scenario that story would have been told if it wasn't for Dark Side of the Ring. So
yeah, very true, man. Very true. But let's see what else is. Oh, there was some. This is news to Adam. I told him about this when he came over. A lot of cuts from NXT today. A lot of cuts. They released a handful of people. It's pretty interesting. I just had it up. Now I got to look on my Twitter and find it.
The big one I just saw right off the bat, and not surprising at all, is Drake Wirtz.
Yes.
He's kind of lost his mind recently over the last couple of weeks.
So when I went and did my WWE tryout, I said hi to Drake. And that's basically the only interaction I've really had with him, was just saying hi.
Yeah.
But I've talked to plenty of people that have worked on the independents with him back in the day, and they said he was the nicest guy. They said he was like a pleasure.
Yeah.
Like Benny had a lot of matches with him. I've heard other wrestlers say, like, man, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, when he got signed, I was super happy for him because there were so many people that I liked that were happy, and I was like, okay, I guess he's a good guy. Like, I don't know him, but
Yeah.
I saw him have a match with Benny at PWG. So
was that the like the hardcore match?
it was. I don't know if it was like a strictly hardcore match, but they definitely did a lot of like strong style stuff. Like they do like vertebreakers to each other and stuff like that.
I think I've seen clips of this match.
Yeah,
and those vertebreakers.
the crowd went nuts for it.
I can understand it, but to me, I go, oh, that looks scary, man. It looks scary. But so here's the names that were released. Was the first one Alexander Wolf, and then this one I'm not sure how to say this name, Kavita Devi.
Yeah.
And then there was Drake Younger, Brandy Lauren, who I believe came from Evolve.
Yeah, she's Joey Janela's girlfriend.
Oh, she okay. And then Jake Clemens, who is a ref, I believe. And then Jasmine Duke, who is Ronda Rousey's friend.
That one surprised me.
Why? Because of...
Just because there's like the connection. They still have always teased doing the 4 horsewomen of wrestling versus the 4 horsewomen like of Ronda's posse.
Yeah, I think
but obviously that's a long way off because Ronda's pregnant now. So you're talking about another year and a half. Maybe.
I think that ship sailed.
The ship has sailed, but... I am still surprised because they never really actually gave her a chance. Maybe she asked for it. Maybe she wants to go back into MMA because maybe she's not enjoying wrestling.
Yeah, maybe. And then you have this one's interesting. It's Ezra Judge. This is EJ. He actually trained at Level Up.
Okay.
And he got signed, I'm guessing, about a year ago, something like that. And then Vanessa Bourne, which actually I'm surprised to see that one because they were trying to make a pretty good push for her, I thought, on NXT.
Yeah, they were pushing her for a while. Like, I don't know what's going on over there because they had 2 women that they released. Chelsea Green they released recently too, who I was surprised because she's really talented and really good. And
I think so too, man. I saw Chelsea Green in person one time. What a smoke show.
Yeah.
She is beautiful in person, man. But yeah, that's nuts that I saw that Vanessa Bourne, she got cut because I thought they were trying to make a serious push for her. But hey, man, sometimes you just you try to get somebody over, and it just doesn't work. And I don't know what you can do from there. So yeah, man, they had to make some room in NXT, and I can't blame them. There's a lot of people signed to development and to the NXT roster, and you can only have so many fish in the pond.
And especially right now, like with all the stuff Drake's been doing recently, I don't know if you've seen any of these things he's been doing. He's been going to these political rallies and talking about child kidnapping and
he's been going to like school board meetings in where is that? Somewhere in Florida.
Yeah, it's Seminole County.
Seminole County, that's it.
Like, you can't do that because WWE tries their best to remain as impartial looking as they can politically.
Yeah.
Even though, Linda McMahon was in Trump's cabinet, but like they try as hard as they can to shy away from that. And there's like one of their main refs, a guy who, has been seen on TV, was on a ref a match at WrestleMania a couple years ago, and he's just out there screaming about kids wearing masks and yada yada yada, and it's just like
like
kidnapping,
and trafficking,
like, it's
and all
just
that kind of stuff.
like he got.
I'm not, his opinions are his opinions.
Oh, of course.
And I'm not going to fault somebody and be like, oh, you're obviously a horrible person because you think this. Hey, man, if that's his opinion and that's what he thinks, hey, so be it. But when you're phoning in, wearing in your NXT shirt, your company shirt, and all that kind of stuff, and there might be some blowback. Yeah.
And that's you have to decide: do you want to lose your job over this? Because it's going to happen if you get that far into this stuff. Like if you get the far into like where you're like the leader and you're like the rah speech guy. Like you said, his opinions are his own, and I'm fine with his opinions, but you have to look at like where do you work? Like if you work for like Google, you can't be out there like preaching this shit because Google doesn't want to be affiliated with that. WWE is a big company. They're hoping to one day probably, sell it off to a big company like Disney or something like that.
Yeah. It's what a lot of companies do nowadays is, hey, you can have social media, you can go do whatever you want, but understand that you can't be identifying yourself as an employee of ours, whether that be like in the title of of your social media, like your Instagram or your Twitter, saying like, "Hey, I work at so and so," or you have your company uniform on, and you're out there saying this guy. The companies give you the heads up, like, "Hey, man, keep it quiet."
Yep.
Like, I don't know. It's strange, man, but he believes it. I don't know if he's wrong or right. It does seem kind of, out there.
Yeah.
A little far out there. But I mean, other people believe the goddamn earth is flat. So you're allowed to have your own opinions, your own thought process.
People in the WWE believe the earth is flat.
Who thinks the earth is flat?
Brian's made a couple of jokes to AJ Styles in interviews, and AJ's kind of like not denied it. Like,
really?
So it's kind of like maybe AJ believes there's like, he's one of the people that doesn't fully go into it, but he's like, there's some interesting information, which is what people say. And I go, okay, there's not, but sure. There's...
and then I also asked, did you see the thing with Ricochet? And
I was going to talk about this.
Io Shirai? Yeah.
So Ricochet basically got heat for being confident in himself.
Yeah, I thought this was kind of interesting. So he,
the tweet's been deleted, I think.
Yeah, it got deleted, but obviously tons of people have the picture of it. Let me find it real quick. He wrote, I saw it, and I'm like, it's not really bad what he wrote at all. All. But it's just one of those things where it's like, you should have just said, yeah, she's really good. Like, I don't even know, what was the start of it? Do you know?
He posted something where he says, nobody can do what I can do, blah, 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 blah. And then someone said, what about Io Shirai? And he's like, she's awesome, but she can't even come close to doing the things I can do. And
So here's the response. I'm not saying she's not amazing. She 100% is, but I can do everything she can, probably even better. She can't do what I'm capable of, maybe not even half. I'm going to have to agree.
Yeah.
With what he says there. And now, I think Io Shirai, I've seen her stuff. She's awesome, man.
Yeah.
She's a great wrestler. But Ricochet is literally influenced this generation of wrestlers. You know how many wrestlers are trying to duplicate what Ricochet is doing?
Yeah.
And they can't? They think, in their head, they go, oh, man, I look good.
Yep.
And then, I look at it and I go, yeah, I mean, if you think you're good at doing it and you're confident, go for it. But it don't look like... Everybody tries to emulate Ricochet now.
Yeah.
Everybody.
There's a certain section of wrestlers that no matter what they tweet, people get up in arms about it. He's one of them. Moose is one of them. Casey Canizaro, who's his girlfriend, is one of them. Like, no, without fail, people will get offended by most of what they say, even though it's not like controversial at all.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It's wrestling Twitter. Wrestling Twitter that says everything is cool, and then zombies show up at a pay-per-view and everybody loves it. And I go, that's weird.
Why? I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either.
But I saw my buddy Anthony Green, who is now August Gray, was dressed up in zombie attire. What was the point? What are they trying to push?
So Batista has a movie coming out on Netflix.
Oh, that's right.
The Zack Snyder movie. So apparently the match was based around zombies. I don't know. I felt really bad for Miz because he tore his ACL in the match.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's out for 9 months or whatever it is.
Who was he wrestling in the match?
Damian Priest.
Did you see?
I don't know when it happened. I don't even know if the zombies being involved had anything to do with what happened with him, but I just know in the match he got hurt. And I just know there's so many like dumb things that happen in WWE all the time, but like for some reason the zombie thing was like, it's cool, it's fun. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. All right.
There's really nothing you can say about it. I didn't watch it, so I don't have much of a
zombie
thing to
lumberjacks.
say. Zombie lumberjacks.
All right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
If they tried to pull that in 2 months when they have live crowds again, I guarantee it'll get booed out of the building.
You know what's very interesting? If they did that on the indies, over as fuck.
Of course.
But you have so much more freedom on the indies because people will go, oh,
it's supposed to be stupid.
It's supposed to be, we can push it, a little bit further than a huge billion-dollar company that has nationwide, worldwide TV.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. Actually, I was having this conversation. I don't know if it was like really a conversation. It was more just like people putting their inputs in, right?
Yeah.
At Level Up. And so, to me, if I see an intergender match, I'm fine with intergender matches.
Yeah.
But do play it accordingly. You know, if I have a guy who's very big, maybe 200 plus pounds, wrestling a girl, let's say that maybe 150 pounds, you know, something like that. There's obviously a big discrepancy in weight.
Yeah.
Right. And that means strength. And I always say, man, you know, play the match out appropriately to where it's believable.
Like you would do with a large guy and a small guy.
Exactly. I cannot not see the discrepancy.
It's like when PWG used to have the Candice matches. I was always like, I don't have a problem with intergender wrestling, but Candice is smaller than everyone.
Yeah.
So in those matches, she should be treated like the underdog. And there were a lot of matches where she's going move for move with some of these guys who are bigger than her. And it's like, all right, well, step it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem with it. Like, it is what it, people liked it.
Yeah.
So if your fan base likes what you're doing, go right ahead and do it.
Exactly. Go for it.
Who cares? Like, who cares what I think? Who cares what Jim Cornette thinks? It doesn't matter. Like,
yeah. And this is, like I said, this is just what I think.
Yeah.
You know, everybody can have their opinion and work it how they want. And if it works for them, great. You know, but you know, I do see differences as far as size wise. Like, so I think, hey, you know, maybe play this match out accordingly to the size difference. And, you know, some people say, oh man, it's 50-50. You know, like people don't see the difference anymore. They just want to see wrestling. And I'm like, in my opinion is now you're calling the fans, you know, uneducated or kind of stupid. It's like, you know, there's a reason in this world why, you know, there's that general rule, don't for guys not to hit a woman in society. Right. So obviously when I see and obviously in sports, you know, in Major League Sports, you know, in the UFC, in combat sports, you don't have men and women compete against each other. You don't have men and women fight each other. It's because there's a very big difference, physiology and size wise. And, you know, so I say bring that to the wrestling. Yeah. Let them compete, you know, let them perform with each other in the ring, but maybe make it a little believable.
Yeah, I don't care if the woman wins the match. Like it doesn't matter to me. Just like make it like use psychology like you would with a big man versus little man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if Marco Stunt is wrestling like Miro, I don't want Marco Stunt going 50-50 with him.
No.
I want if Marco Stunt's going to win, great, but at least like have Miro beat the shit out of him for 70% of the match.
Yeah.
To like get like the surprise win. Like it's just the way it is. Like the guys that are 5'4", 5'5", like sometimes you have to wrestle that way. Like not everyone can be a main eventer.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say.
And also, my idea when I go to wrestle a female, and I've only done it once, and it was against Ray's.
Okay.
And it was I loved it, man. It was
and
fantastic.
With her, it's different because she's a badass, and she is size wise about the same as some guys. So it's like
I would say. Yeah, you're correct. She's obviously a little bit more visually more intimidating than a lot of other girls on the scene. But still, you know, there is that discrepancy of a male and female. And even, you know, I have no idea what, you know, the weight difference is, but I guarantee I am stronger, right, than she is. And but my idea is if I'm wrestling a female and I'm punching her in the face, I'm kicking her in the gut, I'm slamming her, you know, like giving her big slams and she's kicking out, I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, now I can't put away a girl.
Yeah.
You know, with my punches and my kicks and my slams. So, you know, I'm kind of, you know, ruining myself. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm burying myself. Whereas if I here's my idea is let the girl do everything to me.
Yeah.
Because if I kick out, it's okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just my power bar, you know, like on Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat is lowering. It's lowering, right? And all of a sudden the difference, the discrepancy, you know, as far as size, anything like that, now it becomes, oh, okay, now Camden's beat down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I've been throwing punches at the girl, my opponent, but she's slipping them, she's ducking them. She's hitting counters on me, and now I'm getting beat down, right? And then maybe I hit my opponent with one big slam, or I give her a kick to the stomach, and I kind of like I let them be strong, and say, okay, there you go, I got one in on you. Now it's time for me to take 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And kind of until we even out. And then towards the very end of the match, now we're even. Like now, okay, we got to either, if I'm going over, I got to find a way to put this chick away and finish the match, or like something happens to me and I lose. But that's just my idea. Is it's easier for it, And by the way, this is just what I believe. I'm not saying this is how a male-female match should, an intergender match should be.
No,
this is the way
however
I
you want
like
it
to
to
work
go.
it.
Yeah.
This is the way I like to work it. Is that I can get beat down. I can take a lot more, and me kicking out is a lot more believable than me hitting, punching a girl opponent. I have to say girl opponent for some reason, because I feel like just saying if I hit a girl, like it sounds really bad.
Yeah.
Me, throwing a bunch of kicks and punches and slams at a girl, and then if I go for the cover and she kicks out, the fans go, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Of course, some people might be like, oh, that's real misogynistic thinking of you. But hey, guys, it's just what I think is appropriate towards a match. And I'll work at intergender matches all the time. I don't give a shit. Like I said, I had that match with Rays. It was one of my favorite matches I've ever had. I loved it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
In general, like, just, use psychology with everything, even in a man-woman match. Like, the psychology has to change a little bit, obviously, but there's still psychology to it.
Yeah.
And not everything is misogynistic. If you're like, no, I don't want to take that, because if you tell a guy I don't want to take that move, that's like, if you're a guy wrestling a guy, that's not a big deal.
No.
But why is saying no to something else with a woman, why is that a bigger deal?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
on how I work.
People feel very strongly about it one way or the other, and I'm like, you can be in the middle with it. It's okay. Like, you can say, I don't really like it, but then you can go, when they have a good match, you're like, oh, well, that was good.
Yeah. Anyways, what else going on? Heading out to Vegas this weekend. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
You do some gambling?
No.
I ask you this every week.
I hate
gambling. I know what you're going to say.
I mean, maybe I'll throw, like, money down on roulette,
You should throw money down on your match.
Yeah.
Once you find out.
Bet on my match. But no, I don't really give a shit about gambling. But there's going to be a lot of people out there, man. It's going to be a fun time. I'm only out there for Saturday night and flying home late Sunday night, but it's going to be fun. I think I have 2 matches on Saturday, and I think I have a match on Sunday.
Yeah, when they put the thing out, I only saw both your matches for Saturday. I didn't see anything about your Sunday match.
Yeah, I think I'm working on Sunday too. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's gonna be a lot of level up people out there. There's gonna be a lot of Vegas people out there. I'm looking forward to it, man. I feel like this thing's gonna be a good time. I'd be interested to see who's out there, because apparently this convention's a pretty big deal. The Bud Tenders Awards, or whatever the hell it is. A lot of this weed stuff's blowing up.
Yep,
blowing up, and with that, you got a lot of money getting put into this stuff. So that's gonna be cool. Really, really looking forward to it. Gangrel's gonna be out there. Look forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him in a long time. And yeah, man,
you'll finally get to talk about wrestling on the wrestling podcast you started like a year and a half ago. Yeah, and haven't had much wrestling to talk about on most of the episodes.
Yeah. Where's Devin at? That's right. He's up north.
He doesn't answer my phone calls anymore.
He's up north. Canada Pro shows have a venue change. I'm not exactly sure. Go check out Canada Pro on Instagram or on Facebook or on Twitter. I'm sure they have all the information.
I think it's a dispensary nearby or something.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
How's the other podcast doing with you and Ellis?
It's good. The last couple of weeks we've had to do it just me and him. My other friend has been working early, so it's kind of just morphed into we hit the record button and talk about whatever.
Cool, man.
So,
and that's the random
podcast to be named later.
Excellent.
I tweet about it when it comes out. It's going to come out the same day as this podcast, actually, because we're recording tonight at like 1 a.m.
So when you're done listening to this, flip on over to the random podcast
To be named later.
What do you guys usually cover on that?
Just anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's baseball. Sometimes it's wrestling. But I talk about wrestling with you, so by the time I get on with him, I'm basically repeating the same shit I said to you.
That's all it is, man.
So I'm just like the last couple weeks we've talked about like baseball, and then just normal stuff like their relationship stuff, and just chat about whatever.
You doing relationship advice?
Not relationship advice, but like we cover like pet peeves that we have of like dating and.
I'll give you, man. You want relationship advice? You come to this guy right here.
Yeah.
I'm pointing at myself.
You're the most happily married man I know.
Yeah, man. I mean, you learn how to, deal with certain things and you move along.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Every relationship you're going to fight. Every relationship you're going to fight. Some more than others.
Yeah.
Some a little bit more unhealthy than others. And you go, I think you guys maybe aren't good for each other, but maybe there's something that we don't see. But yeah, everybody gets into arguments, no matter how long you've been married and how much you're in love. But you talk about it, you talk it out, you figure it out, you keep on rolling, man.
That's the key. If you fight, how do you follow the fight up? Do you follow it up by trying to peacefully restore, calmness to it, or do you continue to poke? Some people I know continue to poke.
Some people continue to poke, but it's also about like discussing problems at the right time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you got into an argument and you're in a certain place, environment where there's other people. Probably not the best time to try and hash it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe wait until the morning.
Yeah, don't fight in front of people.
If you're intoxicated, never a good time to try and make up and talk it out. It's always, hey man, maybe just wait till the morning. Wait till the morning when you're both sober. Talk it out a little bit. Or it might just be, hey, maybe you just got to sleep on it, right? I know there's like that rule that some people have, like don't go to bed mad at each other or something like that. Like I don't really agree with that.
Bad advice.
I don't agree with that. Like, hey, go to sleep, give it a little bit of time, and then you talk about it, and you say, hey, cool, let's talk about this with cool heads.
Yeah, when you're angry is the worst time to talk about stuff because you're just gonna make it worse.
Yeah, this is something with wrestling also. You come back from a match, maybe somebody got stiffed, maybe somebody got a little injured, maybe somebody was a little too snug, and if you're upset with your opponent when you come back through the curtain, give it 5 minutes. And I've experienced this. Give it 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, a lot can change in 5 minutes.
Yep.
You start thinking about the whole situation. You start thinking about, okay, how am I going to handle this? Maybe your first instinct, but when you came behind the curtain was punch that motherfucker. But the 5 minutes let you cool down a little bit, made you think about it and say, hey, if I punch him, I might never get brought back.
Yeah.
And I might have a bad reputation. And people going forward, maybe people don't want to wrestle with me because they know that if I get upset with you, I might punch you in the back. That's not a good reputation to have, right? So, yeah, man, sometimes you just got to separate for a few, maybe one night. And I'm not saying like separate. Like maybe somebody sleeps on the couch.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody sleeps in the master bedroom. You can also both sleep on the master bedroom too. That's fine if you can work out. Just give it a little bit of time, man. Give it a little bit of time. If there was a couple in this world that said we haven't fought once, I would show you a liar. It's liars, right? Plural, because there's two of them.
Yeah, you shouldn't have pride in not fighting because that means that you haven't really delved into like serious matters and you're still in that honeymoon phase.
Yeah, man. Arguments and bickering amongst in a relationship, it makes you. How strong is this relationship?
Yeah,
I could get so mad at you one night, but yet it's still not enough to break us up. That's a good thing to know.
Yeah,
right. Whereas, if you've never, let's say like you get into like, let's say you're quick to pull the trigger. And you're a person that's like, yeah, I've been dating this girl for 3 months. It's going really well. I'm going to ask her to marry me. And then you don't have your first, huge argument until, maybe it's closer to the wedding date.
Yeah.
Whew. and you go, oh, I can't handle this shit. What the hell did I do? I gotta find a way out of this. You know, psychos.
I also agree with what you said in a past podcast. Like, you should live with your significant other before you marry them.
100%.
Because what if you move in with them and you realize they're a total slob, or they hate the way that you live, and that
Could you imagine?
alters your relationship?
Could you imagine? And by the way, this is a huge step in relationships. My wife and I don't think we'll ever get to that. But you ever hear about like those relationships where they poop in front of each other?
Yeah, I can never do that.
Whoa,
no, that's
whoa.
That's a little too much.
Pump the brakes. What the fuck are you doing? You know, like, you imagine just like brushing your teeth and your significant other just coming in and like taking a shit. What?
Yeah, I don't think in my current relationship that'll ever happen, because every time now she sits on the couch and moves and it sounds like a fart, she has to tell me that wasn't a fart, that was the couch. And I look at her, I'm like, I don't care if you did fart, like, it's not a big deal. But
Yeah, man. You got to know about somebody before you move in with them.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. All right. We're running out of topics to talk about because
well, congrats to Dom.
Oh, that's right. Dom became a tag team partner with his father.
Yep. Something he's talked about on the pod before that he wanted to have happen.
Did you watch that match?
No.
Neither did I. No offense, Dom. I'm sure I'll watch it one day. Just I was in Mexico.
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched much wrestling recently. I watched AEW last week.
And I don't have Peacock.
Okay. That's true. I think it was on SmackDown, but maybe it wasn't pay-per-view. I have no idea.
Was it on Backlash?
I think it must have been WrestleMania Backlash, Mike.
Has it always been WrestleMania Backlash?
It just started this year. So everyone's made the joke that now every pay-per-view is going to be like WrestleMania Money in the Bank, WrestleMania SummerSlam.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I don't understand why you have to say WrestleMania Backlash.
I don't know either.
Can't it just be Backlash? It's always been Backlash.
It's always been Backlash. It's always the pay-per-view right after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's the point. Backlash is the backlash from WrestleMania.
Man, I remember when like WrestleMania, when pay-per-view names used to be so awesome, man.
Yeah, it used to be great.
And now it's like, do I need a fast lane?
No. And especially when they do like Fastlane is 3 weeks before WrestleMania. I'm like, you should probably just have a pay-per-view a month before and then plan it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What was that? It used to be like No Way Out. Is that still a thing? No Way
I
Out?
don't think they do No Way Out anymore.
Armageddon?
No.
Yeah.
I think they stopped doing Armageddon after 9/11.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think 2001 is the year they renamed Armageddon something else.
What else did they have back in the day that was like
Judgment Day?
Judgment Day. These were like cool pay-per-view names.
King of the Ring I used to love.
King of the Ring, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble.
Nothing is as good as Great Balls of Fire, though.
That was a recent one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a terrible name.
And they never did it again.
Great Balls of Fire. What the fuck? Who thought that was a great name for fucking a pay-per-view?
Someone probably just wanted to use the music.
Oh, yeah.
Right, do.
Great Balls of Fire.
I don't know.
Interesting.
But Dom is a champion.
Yes, congratulations, Dom. That's a hell of a accomplishment.
Now we can't ask him anymore who'd he beat.
And they are the first father-son tag team, right? Champions?
Yep.
That's cool, man.
It makes sense. You know, Ray started and he was pretty young, so it makes sense that he'd still be wrestling when his son started wrestling. You know what I mean?
God, man, Ray's been wrestling forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Love to know his secrets.
Wait, no?
I'd love to know the secrets of how he still looks pretty close to what he did when he first started.
I'm still amazed. Like, I know he's obviously suffered injuries.
Yeah.
But he still goes, man.
Yeah.
It's not, that style of wrestling is unforgiving. You know, like, you get hurt wrestling the style of wrestling that Ray does.
I think what helped him is right before he left WWE, a couple years before, I think he was injured a lot. So he didn't wrestle a lot. And then when he left WWE, he didn't wrestle as much. It would be more sporadic. So I think his body just had time to heal, probably.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's been going hard since mid-90s, like.
Dude, I remember I went in to Level Up one day with Dom, Hunter, Benny, Ray, and Dom and Ray wanted to like test some tag team stuff out. Man, there's just a different mindset, dude. Like with Ray, he was like trying to do stuff where it's like, yo, dog, like you might get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just like, I want to try it.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point I was catching him out of a backflip, and I was so nervous because I was supposed to catch him. It was very awkward too.
Yeah.
But I was just like, holy fuck, man! Like, I'm not going to be that person that like drops Rey Mysterio and he gets hurt a lot, or gets hurt badly.
You don't want to have that anxiety of I'm the one that hurt Rey. Like, that type of
exactly.
stuff.
So I remember I was just like, and I had to I think I did it like 4 or 5 times, like having to catch him, and I'm just like nervous as shit too, like every time I had to do it. But
well, if you look at it from his perspective, I'm sure he wouldn't just try something like that with someone he didn't at least know he could trust a little bit.
Ray don't know me that well. I bet Ray couldn't even pick me out of a lineup.
But I'm sure Dom says nice stuff about you, so maybe that more.
I hope Don says something nice about me. Well, all right, man. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
I'll be out in Vegas this weekend. That's the 22nd and 23rd at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino for the Bud Tenders Award.
How much are you charging for pictures?
I'll give them for free.
Okay.
I'll give them for free.
If you want to get a picture with Mike Camden.
I have no problem with giving free pictures out. And then on the 30th, we will be at the where are we going to be at that day? That's Level Up Pro Wrestling Show. I'll be wrestling Judiz.
Okay.
And I believe that is behind the school. Let me look at it real fast. Ready or not? Level Up Pro Wrestling School. Yes, it's going to be in the back. So go check that out. It's going to start at 5 p.m. And that's May 30th. It's a Sunday. It looks like it's going to be $10. Should we go over the card real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. First match is going to be Reptilio versus Remy Morgan. Then you're going to have the second match, Jackson Calhoun versus Shinobi. And then there's going to be a third match, I think, if somebody accepts this challenge. It's a DTF. It's going to be his open challenge. And then fourth match, you're going to have Sweet Robin Shaw versus Jesse James. Those are 2 big men.
Hoss battle.
That's gonna be great, man. I'm looking forward to that. And then you're going to have it looks like a six-man tag. This looks like it's MPW versus Level Up Pro Wrestling. Representing MPW is going to be Brendan and Danny Devine and Diego Valens versus the team of Level Up Pro Wrestling that consists of Leo Caneto, Sexy Fab, and Jordan Cruz. Congratulations, Jordan. You just won the Heritage Championship up at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Congratulations, bud.
Congratulations.
And then here's the real main event, but it's not the main event. It's going to be myself versus Judiz. This is Julius's first match in a long, long time. But he's been in there. He's been training. He's getting right back to where he was. So it's going to be fun, man. I'm looking forward to that match. Then you're going to have a tag team match. It's going to be Savannah Stone and James Brady versus Hunter Freeman and Ruby Reyes. So there's a tag team intergender match. Main event is going to be a triple threat. This is the kids from 8-Bit Lit. Apparently they're not getting along right now.
Uh-oh.
So you're going to have Casey Douglas versus Juan Matatoli, also known as J2, also known as the Playmaker, versus Michael Hopkins, also known as the Most Athletic Wrestler. All right, that's May 30th. Level Up Pro Wrestling at 5 p.m. Oh, wait, no. Is it $10? It says here price free, but then it has a $10 thing below. Whatever. Listen, bring $10 just in case.
Yeah.
All right, bring $10 just in case. All right, go check that out. And as always, all these cards are subject to change. You never know what's going to fucking happen. All right, you don't know what's going to happen. All right, man. Adam, you got anything you want to put over, man?
I just listen to my other podcasts. I only got 2 of them now.
Only got 2 of them.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Thank you very much. And if you want the tip, you got to take the whole hog. Adios.